It is. It's paradise, bro. You're still here.
Huh?
We're still here. We need the dream. Look at you.
You're not supposed to go through it in the summer. You're not supposed to go through the winter. But the summer, it avoids this canal scale. Yeah, because it goes up there. It goes to Colorado City, pops out of the hurricane. Don't call it hurricane. Whatever. But the guy, I don't like that. But the guy can have, he's been hammering his cage right now, so we stopped. And I don't believe I don't believe going to St. George, but the only scale I have to touch on the way back and the way from Utah is very. All right, guys, just about ready to start this? Let's go. Hurry up and get it over with, huh? All right, hey, so some of you guys are having trouble with your logbook or your ELDs. So if you're having trouble with your tablets, make sure you bring it into us. I know some people are, you trying to update it yourselves. That does not actually go to the latest version. Like, still end up with some glitches and stuff that will occur in your tablets, okay?
Yes, I know.
Everybody signed in? I'll say don't miss out on that free money. John put together a little questionnaire. Give you guys a second look at the board. It should be pretty obvious.
You have to read those. I can't read those. What does it say?
During the vehicle inspection test, you must be able to do all the following except A, show where the power steering fluid dipstick is located, B, check for adequate power steering fluid, or C, ensure that the power steering fluid level is above the full mark. A, B, or C? A? Okay. During a basic vehicle control skill test, exercise your vehicle's found position should be A, in the general area that was described by the examiner, B, in the exact final position described by the examiner, or C, within 3 feet of the final position described by the examiner. A, B, or C?
3 feet.
3 feet close. Any answers? B. When driving under wet conditions, the lack of spray coming from the tires of other vehicles indicates that A, ice is formed on the road, B, the pavement is dry, or C, the spray is caught on the underside of the vehicle. A, B, or C? C, A, what? A?
No, if it's spray, there's.
Oh no, a lack of spray, so it would be A.
Okay. Bridges usually A, do not freeze, B, have heaters to prevent them from freezing, or C, freeze before other surfaces.
It should be B.
Should be, but perfect world. All right, question 5 is difficult to see other vehicles such as at dawn or dusk. You should A, keep your lights off, B, turn your lights on, or C, drive on the shoulder. B, if you're trying to avoid the scale. No. Dual tires should always, or should, A, always come into contact with one another, B, come into contact with one another fairly regularly, or C, not come into contact with one another. Okay. All right. Question 1, during the vehicle inspection test, you should be able to do all the following except ensure that the power steering fluid level is above the full mark. Second question, during a basic vehicle control skill test, your vehicle's final position should be within 3 feet of the final position described by your examiner. Question 3, a lot of you guys seem hesitant on this one, which makes me worried. When driving under wet conditions, a lack of spray coming from the tires of other vehicles indicates that ice is formed on the road. Coming to be winter time, guys. Yeah. Everywhere except here, it's coming to be winter time. Yeah. Bridges usually freeze before other surfaces. Question 5. When is it difficult to see when it's difficult to see other vehicles, such as at dawn or dusk, you should turn your lights on. And dual tires should not come into contact with each other.
Speaking of ice, it's a good time to take the chains out and check, because a lot of times, if they're in there, you don't know the condition, especially if you're in another truck and you never pull them out, you'll find missing links. And how many we're supposed to have?
I believe it's 3.
7.
Yeah, 3 full sets, right?
Plus an extra.
A plus section. I don't know, I never pulled them out. I just pulled over it.
That's what I do. I pull over. I'll stop.
Alright guys, we're doing pretty good. Most of our indicators, we have 1 alert going on unsafe driving. So you guys is what putting us over? Speeding. Speeding. The other big one? Not logs. Really? Surprisingly. So right now, guys, we're at the 76 percentile. The intervention threshold is at 65%. Right now, if they weren't so backed up, they would have sent us letters, or they would have come and paid us a visit and gone, so what are you doing to stop this? Which would mean what? It means that everybody's going to get turned down. If we don't get this fixed, we're going to go say bye-bye at 75 and look at 65.
And or 71 for Rob there in this case.
No, Rob, we're turning down to 45. But yeah, if DOT was not so backed up, they'd be coming past a visit. These are the big ones that are affecting us the most. Failure to wear a seatbelt. It's costing us 70 points on that. Speeding. We got 10 of those. It's costing us 40 points. That's 610. Failure to obey a traffic control device. That means you're blowing past scales. That means, not, or making a right on red, whatever. That's costing us 30 points. Speeding 11 to 14 over, that's 28 points. Speeding 15 and over, that's another 40 points. Guys, these things add up super quick. We don't want to turn you guys down. We don't want to be fucking, FedEx or Swift driving 60 miles an hour out here. I know you guys like running 75, right?
Yeah. I know.
All those things mean that eventually we're going to get turned down. They really. Yeah, and wear your fucking seatbelt. I was about to say, some of us, the older guys, we all remember when we all had 80, and we lost that. Here's some of our most recent violations. Everything from August, July, June. We got a whole bunch in July. Failure to obey a traffic control device, speeding in a construction zone.
Wasn't that recent?
Oh yeah, these are all within the past
How long
Yeah.
does it take before they fall off?
2 years.
2 years ago.
Dude, right now, to get out of alert, guys, to get out of our alert status, we can't have a ticket for speeding, we can't have a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt until March of next year. This is why we're talking about this now. Because right now we're in alert status and we're just waiting for them to start sending us letters.
What center would we mainly get overspeed in?
Arizona, California. And the big one right now has been Arizona. Out there by the
303.
out by 303 and out there by the Penn and Buckeye. What is that guy's name? Flannery. He has got your guys' number. He is waiting for you out there on the 10. He loves pulling us over.
Oh, in the construction out there.
Yep, in the construction zone out there.
Right there in Miller.
Yeah.
Mhm. What's the speed limit out there? 55. How fast does everybody drive out there?
35.
75, 80 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour. He doesn't care if it's a car. He wants us. He wants the truck drivers. He wants to look good.
And that was John trained him, and John goes, "Why you got to do for us?" He goes, "No favors."
Well, probably went, well, you're easy to write tickets to. All right, right now our crash indicators, guys, we're doing okay. We've fallen a little bit. We've gone from 0.13 to 10%. We've gotten better. We're getting better about this. Let's try and keep our crashes down, obviously. We really don't want them to come after us on that one, because that's just a, well, you guys had a good run. We're taking your DOT number. Here's our hours of service compliance. Right now, we're coming down. We're on a downward trend. We want to keep that up. We don't want them always pulling us in, always looking at our logbooks, right? Nobody likes having to pull their tablet out and send them stuff. We want to keep up this trend. Here's the ones that are affecting us in this area that we wouldn't want to fall off. Number one, the thing that happens the most, failure to have your shipping documents. That means you're not putting your load numbers in.
Into the town.
Yeah. Number two, record of duty status violations. That means, sorry. That means you're showing off duty time when you should be showing sleeper berth. That could be you're showing off duty time when you should be showing some on duty time, getting unloaded and loaded. All that stuff is really catching us up. False report of driver's records of duty status. Same thing. Basically the same ticket. The fourth one down, failure to add your trailer number. Right there, just between that mistake and the fourth one, you get 10 points on the board. Drivers fail to certify the logs. That's number 5. Guys, the biggest issues that we're having is people are not putting in shipping numbers, not going into or sleeper berth when you should go into sleeper berth, because we're all required to show sleeper berth when you're in the truck.
Can I say something quick?
Yeah.
There is, I'm not going to name, but there have been a couple of trainers that have been training improperly on the logs. So if your trainer or trainee is doing logs improperly, you can check in those, because they're getting confused on the off-duty and sleeper statuses to where they're putting sleeper instead of being off-duty when they need to be off-duty, not in sleeper.
And vice versa.
Yes.
So these are just our big ones. The one that's cost us the most, though, they're for 35 points. False report of driver's records of duty status. That's being off duty when you should be being on duty. That's all those little things. They can say that was, oh yeah, he was in, so you were in your truck, right? Well, yeah. Well, why didn't you report sleeper berth? That right there, 35 points. If that was off, we'd be down to almost single digits on that compliance. Got a nice downward trend here for our vehicle maintenance. Who knows what's in vehicle maintenance that we're doing better at? Load securement. That's for our vehicle
Oh
maintenance.
yeah, that's good right there.
And check out this nice downward trend we got, right? We want to keep that going. I've seen a lot of loads lately, and those guys, I gotta say, they're being getting better and better. You guys' securement is looking better and better every time I go out there.
That's good.
Me and John don't have to wander the yard quite as many times and go, what the fuck is this?
Hey, I can go adjust mine right now so you can walk out there and see it.
You can adjust it right now. So these are the big ones that are costing us, guys, 32 points in operable required lamps. That means you burned out a bulb, it's not plugged in. Something simple. That's 32 points, our biggest thing on the board by far. Underneath that, 48 points, inoperable brake lamps. People are out checking, you guys you have to check. Make sure your brake lights are working. If that means grabbing the Swift driver from next door and going, push the brake pedal, dummy, while you go back there and look, do it.
I think mine did the drill pedal instead.
Just make sure it's not in gear. Okay, next one, operating a CMV without proof of a periodic inspection. Guys, we inspect our trucks on the regular. That's what your little red sticker says. All you have to do is know where that red sticker's at and go, yep, that's my proof of inspection right over there. But that right there, it's cost us 32 points so far. Controlled substances. We should have a 0 in this, but well, there's a couple of different things.
Part of the past.
Anyway,
Yeah.
no one drives for us that's had one of those violations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should drop off.
Nobody works here. Yeah, nobody works here that we've had any.
The past is coming up behind us.
Our driver fitness, we got a nice downward trend going again, guys. We're doing so good on everything except our first thing, which is our unsafe driving. Everything else we are on a downward trend, and that's what we want if we want to keep the doors open. So right now you can see we've gone from 13% down to 7%. These are our big things that have affected us the most lately. Speeding for 10 points. Next, driving a CMV while suspended, 7 points. State and local law, speeding 15 or more, 10 points. Operating EMV without a CDL, 10 points. State and local laws, speeding 15 or over, 10 points. State and local laws, speeding in a working construction zone, 10 points. These are the next ones. These are all the big ones that hit us the hardest.
But some of those should be dropping off this year, right?
Yeah, some of them will be dropping off.
So, yeah, some of them, what's your thing?
The reason why John's always on you guys about your health card, those driving without a CND and all that, that's somebody's health card that expired, that didn't know their health card expired, and they get pulled into the scale, and they're like, you don't have a license. That's how those happen.
Yep. More speeding in a construction zone, using a telephone while operating CMV, narcotics, speeding in a construction zone, speeding. Here's the crazy thing. Oh, there we go. When it says state and local laws speeding in a work construction zone, that counts as 2 tickets. Each one costs 10 points.
Double the fine.
Double the fine. Double the time.
Double trouble. Damn it.
What I found out too is that, you know, usually construction zones, you don't see anybody working and, you know, it's a Saturday or Sunday, it don't matter.
Still don't matter,
If
yeah.
it's still flagged, you still gotta slow down.
Yep.
In a
And
construction
there's
zone.
a guy that's out there working at construction on the west side of town.
Yeah, Flannery.
Literally, is targeting trucks going through there. And he actually really does not like White Mountain trucking.
Yeah.
Well, there's a 20,
They should have fired his name.
26 miles on I-17 right now, and like a
If I could hire them, I would.
335 coming down the hill. It's 55 from the 335 to the 311.
Yeah.
And dude,
I want to come up real quick too. I got a warning ticket. I was gonna get a speeding ticket. I got a warning ticket. And I found out it's the same against the company.
Yep, it's same
Where's
way,
their
severity
warning?
weight against.
Where I got it, you guys gotta be careful. You come back. I was down in Yuma and I was coming back through that one canyon. That's 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, we always.
Now that last curve, I could see the straightaway, and so I started speeding up. Right now, out of sight, there was a cop sitting there. So by the time I passed him, I was doing 65.
Yep.
Because I was speeding up, because right on the other side of that bridge is 75.
Yep.
And they got me, so do not speed until you see the sign, until you pass that sign.
Yeah, until you get to the sign, the speed limit was the last thing
That's
posted.
the last thing,
The
so.
warning is still counted as specials, so
Definitely
I guess
speed
traffic, it wasn't
Yeah.
a flight record, but it was.
So,
they still go to points.
next thing, guys,
No, no, no.
our ISS score, we've come down, we were at 89. What was it? Just like,
It was 89 because we had 2 alerts. The only reason we're at 60 is because we have an alert on our account and because we're so far above the intervention threshold, and it's because of speeding. That's specifically the thing, which is why we hit that so hard. Why it's we count that as like even towards the safety contest, that deducts points from even your
Yeah.
15 over or any of those things. It deducts a lot of points because it's considered a major safety event, because that's the only reason our number is at 60 and it says optional is because we have that one alert. Our score should be a 30 and should say pass. When
Yeah.
it says basis of recommendation or ISS recommendation or inspection recommendation, it should be at 30. If it's at 30, they won't stop you. They'll read the number and they'll go, oh, this guy's okay.
Yep.
And we were there 2 years ago.
yeah. 2 years ago, guys, we had I think a 32 is what we were at.
Yeah, and to pass.
And we got passes everywhere we went. Every scale we went to, they just gave us green light. Right now we're at a 60. We're coming down. We need to keep working to keep this down. Because I know nobody wants to get pulled into every fucking scale on the road, right? And what he was saying about the 15 or over or excessive speeding and stuff, guys, that's not just the cops. We're also having to crack down on that in here, okay? Yes.
When you go to the scales and you have a green light and bypass in the computer, the tablet,
Okay?
and when you cross it, the sign say pull over. You pull into the.
If anything says pull over, just pull over.
So I asked the guy at the scale house down in San Simon, and he said that if your tablet says bypass and the board says pull in, you
buy gas, you get to buy gas on your driveway.
Because there's a sign right before it that says follow in-cap signals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because you follow it, it says in-cap.
You keep the thing on your driveways, if they get stopped, you can show them that you go bypass
Yeah.
and they'll have to let you go.
Yeah.
I have another question.
I had
You go in your driveway,
internet, he
There's
said,
a
he
sign
called them and they told him,
that
yes,
says,
it's certified, it says
full
bypass.
truck is pulling. You can go in your driveway, I have a mile, and it'll show you all the bypass.
Yeah.
Okay, you read that full sign.
Knows you pull in there, ain't
They're
it?
supposed to be the second and a half a mile. How or where you can pull it. And you can see it. You can see that nobody in there. You don't see cop.
Doesn't matter, pull it. Pull it. Yeah, if it says all trucks pulling in unless scale closed, if the scale's open, when you see anybody or not, pull in.
That's where you slam on your brakes on the scale really hard and try to screw it up.
Yeah. I was about to say, I do that every time I go up to 17.
Hey, but there's not a scale. There's not a scale. There's a sign. There's like a shape or something.
The one in the bottom?
Huh?
Is it in the bottom?
No, in Arizona.
Oh, are you talking about the rest areas?
No, there's not a rest area either. There's not a rest area, there's a all over. 60.
If there's a scale house or anything there, pull over. If there's nothing there and it's just empty road, go. If it's one of those spots where there used to be something and there's no longer anything there, you're fine. But if there's a building there, if there's a shack, if there's a scale on the ground, pull over.
The one thing about them driveways is sometimes well, at least on my sense here, it seems to be shutting itself off, even though I didn't do it. So I check it.
No, it only shuts itself off when you sign out. When you sign out as a tablet for your 34, you have to sign it.
Until it puts itself to sleep, and then
No, your tablet needs updated, yeah.
All right, anyway, you guys, so the big thing David was just talking about was if we see it on our cameras, we're gonna start deducting points from you, and if it keeps up, we will turn you down. That's how serious we are about this, guys. We don't want to turn anybody down. We don't want to, sit there and go through all those points. But if you guys if it keeps up, we have to. We don't want, to get everybody turned down to 65. That's what we're trying to avoid. All right, our total inspections right now, we have 379 passed in 2 years. Right now, we have 241 clears, and we have 138 that had some kind of issue. This is not a bad number at all. I mean, it's certainly not great when 38% of, every inspection is going to have some kind of issue. However, I know we are getting better about it. So these are the things that we want you guys to be looking forward. What will help you come through your inspection with a flying color, making sure your log is good. Make sure everything's certified, make sure you have your training number, make sure. You're good. I'm about to say, that ain't me.
That means run, people.
Yeah.
It's fun! No, make sure your logs are all certified, make sure your trailer's in there. Like you said, those are the big ones. Shipping documents, make sure you have your little lady number put in there. If we did all that, our score would be even lower than it is right now. Make sure you have a packet of blank paper logs. Make sure that you carry around 30, we give you guys 30 blank paper logs whenever you need them. Just ask for them, we'll give them to you. What do you, okay, you have ELD make sure that you have your ELD instructions sheet or nowhere to find it in your ELD. Everybody know how to get to their ELD instruction sheet inside the... Do you know where your ELD instruction sheet is at? Okay, well as long as you know where one of those two is at, fine.
There's like 5 sets of them, right?
Yeah, there's, I believe, 2 copies of most of the permit books, and there's 3 different ways that you can get to it on your tablet.
I got one in my sleeper, one on my dad's, one had instruction book.
See, there you go. Make sure that you have performed your pre-trip and post-trip inspections. Make sure all your lights are working. Make sure that all tires are inflated to their proper pressures. Make sure your load is properly secured. Know where your annual inspection for both units is. Make sure that you don't have any air leaks. Make sure that the ABS malfunction light on the trailer is operational. That means make sure that somebody didn't just unplug the bench. Because I know that, several trailers I picked up just walked back there and I'm like, hey, this pigtail isn't plugged in. 5, make sure you record the issues with the truck or trailer on the DVIRs.
And make sure you're looking at your permits as well to be updated.
Yep, make sure you're keeping your permit book updated. Be polite, don't argue. We all know that a lot of cops are just straight up assholes because they want to be. I mean, we've all dealt with bad cops, right? We all know cops don't like us. We're the great evil of the road, truck drivers. If they're putting a violation on their DER, that should not be there. Ask if they can show you in the book so that you can show the shop. That just means, hey, you don't have to be an asshole, you don't have to go, that's not in the book. Just go, hey, I understand. Thank you for pointing that out. Can you show me where I can find that in my manual so I can show it to my shop?